Welcome back to Ski Dad TV. This video is a bit of a passion project of mine. As you may know, I'm a huge fan of World Cup ski racing, and I used to be a race coach, and now I'm a ski instructor. As a race coach, I had a pretty strong opinion about what good skiing looked like, and I was able to coach athletes to pretty good results. Since then, as a ski instructor, I've really refined my approach and thoughts around skiing and racing and what makes for a good race run. So much so that I was able to put together my racing philosophy into a full video series, the Base Skiing video series, and I think it's worthwhile to go check it out. Now, earlier this season, I was watching the Val d'Isere GS, and on the second run, I saw what was a really great opportunity to show how base skiing can be utilized in the World Cup and how it can be effective. So let's get right into it. This is Sandro Zurbrugg. Sorry if I can't pronounce the names, but he started bib 69 first run, comes out, makes a second run. He's going first in the second run. And I was really curious to see if he was going to be able to capitalize on his opportunity. And he really did. And right away, when I was watching his run, I started noticing these little slides, that one right there, little deviations into the turn. There's a stiv. That's a stiv. Jump switch, little feather, that's a stiv. That's a stiv. Remember, a stiv is where you take the skis, go past the direction you're trying to go, and then drop them back into the turn and come out clean. Now, the biggest thing about base skiing is clean completion. The philosophy is based on clean completions. So what Zurbrugg is doing is he is using little deviations, little skids, little stivets at the top of every turn to ensure that he has clean completions all the way down. We're going to skip the bottom section of this run. Here's a slow-mo replay. He slides in, but then boom, gets the ski to engage, gets it to bend, and has a clean completion. In real time, when I was watching that run, I was really impressed with his approach, and it was curious to see how that would play out. Now, next up is Frederik Muller here. Okay, bib 34, a little bit better point profile than Sandro. Now, let's see how he goes. Now, right away, I noticed from Frederik here that he is more into rolling things up. Okay, he's trying to roll his ankles on the top of more turns. He's trying to carve more. He's not willing to give up any speed at the top of the turn. I mean, he's using that little bit of a slide in, a little bit of a feather, and right away you can see it's biting him already. Okay, where Sandro was doing little stivets, little deviations, Muller is trying to just do a little bit less at the top of the turn, a little more carve, be stronger, but he's going slower because of, he's not able to achieve clean completions. And as I was watching this, it went through my head, well, Frederik is using more of like what I would call an American approach. Okay, let's watch his replay again. There's his little bit of slide, less slide than Sandro, and he's not able to get onto that ski and ride a clean completion out. Now we're going to match the two guys up together. And when I say Frederik uses more of an American approach, I'm just going to say, when I watch American ski racing, what I see is a strong emphasis on the top of the turn being carved at all costs. And I think it bites us in the butt. Okay, so now let's look at Sandro and Frederik next to each other. Already, look at Sandro, big stivot. He's already twisted those skis in. Muller is trying to come in with a little bit. I mean, he's using a tiny little feather there. Okay, Sandro has set his skis. Muller is on the skis. Here we go through that turn. Okay. Here, now we have Frederik dropping low. Okay, right? Left side of the screen. Frederik is dropping low into the turn. Sandro is already on the skis coming across the hill. Sandro, completion. Frederik. Now he's got completion. Sandro jumps right into another stiv. Frederik, he's just going for a little bit of a feather, a little bit of a butter of the skis to get engagement. Back over to Sandro on the right side. Strong ski engagement, great dynamic position, clean completion. Look at Frederik losing the outside ski, drifting low, outside skis way behind him. Sandro, a jump switch, okay, using an exotic maneuver going into the turn versus your standard roll initiation, which Frederik is using. So here's Sandro standing on the ski already, coming across the hill. Frederik dropping lower and lower in the line. Sandro into another turn, right? Sandro's never trying to just carve the top of the turn. He is, and I don't know if his focus is this specifically, And what he's doing is doing whatever he needs to do at the top of the turn to maintain a clean completion coming out. And now there's Sandro going by the gate. Boom, he's hitting the gate. And there's Frederick going by the gate. So Sandro's made speed on Frederick. Okay? Frederick is also losing his outside ski here. And Sandro's going into another little bit of a feather here. Okay, this is a little sneak gate. Boom. There are I like this twist over here from Sandro. Over on the right side of the screen. Muller is, again, watch what Muller's doing here over on the left side of the screen. Standing up. A little bit of a deviation into there, but really he's really trying to roll it up and go, into the turn strong and with a clean outside ski. Sandro continues to make time on Frederick. Okay, there's a big stiff from Sandro. So again, this is the approach that these two athletes are taking. Sandro, a lot of stiffs, a lot of feathering, not worrying about what the top of his turn looks like. He's just trying to keep clean completions below. Muller trying to be clean into everything, trying to possibly make speed. I mean, in the American philosophy out there, it's all about making speed all the time. Okay, but here Sandro is beating the guy who's trying to make speed all the time. Okay, here he is. Look at coming by the gate, releasing the ski. Okay. And just getting out ahead of him. Now let's give Muller some credit. Frederick right here on the left side of the screen, that's a good stiff, right? He's got it. It's in his bag of tricks, but he's not going for it and using it as much as he could be. And I think, Sandro gets ahead because he's using it. Now back to Frederick's run, how it finished out for him. Look, he comes down 1.82 off of Sandro. And Sandro didn't try and carve the top of the turn at all. Frederick was more concerned with carving the top of the turn, and boom, and it bit him. Now, next up in the race is Rasmus Winningstad. I think Winningstad is a stud. Okay, he's won a parallel event. He's been competitive in Super Gs. He's competitive in GSs. This guy's good. He's probably a better athlete. I mean, he's BIP 10. He's a more accomplished ski racer than both of those guys. All right, hands down. Let's see how he does. Now, Rasmus, we're going to just let that play. Okay, he is definitely getting a little bit more roll out of the top of his turn, but he's able to maintain cleaner completions throughout the whole thing. And you can see from the tempo, the power, the energy, like in a clean run, I'd say 9 times out of 10, he's going to beat Sandro. Okay, probably a better ski racer. And he's made time on him here. Sorry. He's lost 900ths on him. Okay, but now we get into this section and see, there's a little bit of bobble at the bottom of the turn. There's a big bobble at the bottom of the turn. There's another bobble at the bottom of the turn. And so through that section of the course in particular, Winningstad loses to Sandro because he loses the outside ski and does not maintain clean completions. Let's look at the two guys next to each other. Now just look at the elevation difference. This time we have Sandro on the left, Winningstad on the right. Just look at the blue dye. Sandro way outside of it. He's got a nice high line. Winningstad goes a little straighter. Sandro's already got a clean ski. Winningstad is fighting for that ski and loses the elevation. He's losing speed. Sandro goes into a stiff. Winningstad goes into a little bit of feather, but he's trying to be tight with it, and he is losing the outside. Okay. Now I show Winningstad just this section in particular because this is where Winningstad made his big mistake. And where was the mistake? The mistake was the bottom of the turn. The mistake was not how he came into it so much. Maybe the mistake is because of how he came into the turn. Okay, but what matters in the timesheet and what affects your run the most is how your completions are. Sandro, clean completions all the way. Now look at the splits over here for Winningstad. It's in that second split where he loses half a second, and then he gets it together at the bottom, and he beats Sandro down the bottom, which you'd expect from Winningstad because he's a more accomplished, probably a better ski racer. Okay, but in that one section where Winningstad loses the bottom of the turn for 2, maybe 3 turns, he loses this run, and Sandro gets another position on the board, and Winningstad moves back 1. Here is a replay. There's Winningstad. Again, clean completion. He did not have clean completions. It does not matter how you come into the turn. It matters how you come out. Victor Mouffat-Jandé. I'm a huge fan of Mouffat-Jandé. I want to see him get back into the top 30. I'll be sitting in the leader's chair. I mean, how cool is that? Next up was Van Aertscher. And when I saw this run in real time, I'm thinking, okay, Van Aertscher, great slalom skier. I really like him in slalom. Let's see what his GS looks like. Let's see what his approach looks like. And right away, what I see when I watch Van Aertscher's GS is a guy who's taking kind of a slalom approach in that he is only trying to get the skis, aim to where he's trying to go to the next apex, and then standing on it there. And watch this. He just takes the skis, turns them, and stands on it. It's like a sting and ride, and that's all he's doing. There's no roll up from him. He doesn't really stiv, okay? He just does this is a stiv, but look, here's this deviation, stand on it right there. Look at, when he gets the skis aimed over to the next rise line, he stands on it and goes. Here's another one. He just aims the skis. Watch this. He just steps over. There's not a lot of slide here. It's just like a step over and then sting, aiming over. He really only goes diagonal, diagonal, diagonal all the way down the course. And I'm thinking like, wow, I haven't seen a GS skier in the World Cup ski like this. But it's awesome. I mean, this is his style. This is what he does in slalom. This is how he's effective. Hips are a little bit back, but man, oh man, he's making time and he's going fast. So here's a guy who, again, is kind of showing how base skiing works, and that it's all about clean completions. He's clean under every gate. All the way down, he's clean under the gate. Not once does he roll into a turn. Maybe on a couple of those gates at the top. But there's not one roll. That's maybe a roll into a turn. Okay, 6 gates at the bottom, he rolls into the turn. But I love these turns up here. I think they show that really the only thing that matters is your clean completion. Here he comes across, twists the skis. Look, there's a little bit of a feather and a slide, but really stand on it. Going across. Right there. Look at that. I mean, there's no weight on the skis. He's just stepping them over there and then engage, going the other way. Look at this. Twist the skis with no weight on them. It's not a slide. It's not a feather. It's not a butter. This is his own deal. He just gets it and then stings and goes. Maybe that was a stiff. Hard to see from that angle. And then there's some rolls at the bottom. But I just thought that was like just... You know, as I was watching this in real time, I'm sitting there saying, wow, this really shows how base skiing holds true and is effective in analyzing this race. Like, base skiing stands up to these results and shows how it goes. Now, I'm not going to get into Odermatt, Schwarz, Verdu here. Those guys skied amazing. There's been plenty of analysis on their skiing. I'm going to leave that for someone else. I was just trying to show how base skiing, or how an approach in GS or in ski racing, can affect your results. Now we look through the results. Okay, Van Aertscher goes from, 26th to 14th with that great run. 0 rolls into the top of the turn. Sandro Zurbrigg goes from 30th to 17th. I mean, that's a monster result. So there's a guy who came out, didn't try and roll it up, just kept clean completions all the way. No, he didn't win the second run, but did he need to? There's a 17th for him. I'm sure he would take that 10 out of 10 times. And now we look, and then there's Winningstad right behind Zurbrigg. Okay, 18th. That's a good move up from him. Again, I think Winningstad is a stud, okay, and could have really been one of those guys to move way up, but he had 2, maybe 3 turns with bad completions, so he's in 18th. Then we go to Frederik Moeller. Okay, here's a guy who came out, not his best run, not trying to bag on the kid, but his approach was that he wanted to carve more at the top of the turn. Maybe he was trying to get too much out of that run. Ends up in 24th, second to last, and really just didn't get much out of the day. There it is. That is my analysis with base skiing in mind of a World Cup ski race. I hope you enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and consider a donation to the channel. I don't know how this is going to work out copyright-wise, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to monetize this. However, if this works out, I'd really like to do more of this kind of analysis, because I do love watching World Cup and I really like to talk about it. And so if this is something you like, then please consider a donation to the page. And as always, keep shredding out there.